welcome to BevLive on a Friday evening. I'm sitting here with short sleeve. The weather is getting better. We're getting closer to spring. And I'm excited to talk about wine, as always, on a Friday evening. The main topic I want to talk to you about today is what's a good price for wine? I know that's a very, very broad kind of question, but I thought about that when I saw an article recently over the last few days where a very famous French Paris restaurant noticed that some wine was missing in their cellars. The restaurant, La Tour d'Argent, is world famous for its wine selection, for its food. The restaurant is hundreds of years old. I think it has 3 Michelin stars. An absolutely amazing restaurant, one of the best in the world. And they noticed that about 80 bottles were missing in their very, very large cellar. Now, from what I read in the news, is that those wines were worth $1.6 million. So we're talking about 80 bottles, $1.6 million. So, if you do the math real quick, we are looking at $20,000 per bottle on average, which is a lot of money. You can buy, for $20,000, you can buy a nice car. You can go on the most amazing vacation you have been in your whole life. So that made me think a little bit about value in wine. And I am not saying that these wines don't have a place. I think every wine has its place. For us, we need to decide for ourselves when we shop for wine, what's our budget, what do we want to spend, and what's a good value in wine. And I think that's something just to really think about for wine consumers. It's important to have some kind of budget. I think, like for me personally, I think there are instances where you want to splurge a little bit. Like you have like a special occasion coming up, and you want to buy something really, really special, or you really like a winery, you like the winemaker, you like the family behind the wines, and you want to drink their wines. Or you have, a specific situation. Let's say you're on your honeymoon in Napa Valley or wherever your honeymoon may take you, and you drink a special bottle of wine, and then years later, every year maybe on your anniversary, you bring out that bottle of wine, and it triggers a reaction in the brain. You remember those amazing times you've had on whatever trip you were on. And I think for those occasions, I think it's perfectly great to spend a lot extra. And the same thing with La Tour d'Argent with these bottles is a lot of people go there for very special occasions. And you want to remember those times, and then it's okay to spend a lot of money. Well, I'm not going to spend $20,000 on a bottle of wine, but that's me. And some people have that kind of money, and that's perfectly fine. But I think in general, it's important to find wines that just fit your budget. I've recently had some amazing Australian wines. For example, I'm a big fan of Australian wines, and the price-quality ratio, as people say in the industry, the price-quality ratio is absolutely stunning for many, many wines coming from Australia, for example. So, so you can buy very, very good wines at very, very reasonable prices. And for the weekend, that may be slightly different what you would have with pizza on a Wednesday evening. But I think it's before you go out shopping, wherever you do your shopping, I think it's important to think about what you want to spend, but then also try to understand who's behind the wines, maybe try to understand the families, the growers. That's fun too, and it's kind of exciting to kind of learn about that. And when you then go home, even if it's not the most special bottle of wine, you make it special because maybe you have maybe talked to the winemaker, or you read up on these people, and then all of a sudden when you drink the wine, it's not just a beverage. And I think that's kind of what I'm trying to communicate here, is that wine in many ways is much more than a beverage, and it triggers something. It triggers something in our brains. And there's so many different nuances in wine that trigger certain reactions in your brain, and give you feelings of happiness, of excitement, of whatever that great feeling could be. So decide for yourself. What is a good value in wine? The answer is it depends. So enjoy your evening, enjoy the weekend, and I will see you next week. Bye.